Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I'm Michael Obadia. Here are our top stories. A Senate approves Tinubu troop deployment to Benin Republic. Fubara leaves the People's Democratic Party defects to the All Progressives Congress. And Genco's 4 trillion naira debt, the federal government moves to settle arrears with about 590 billion naira bond. And on the foreign scenes, Zelensky meets Pope, prepares update plan for Russia war. And talking sports, doubt over Salah's Liverpool future as Saudi clubs prepare January bid. Now to the news in full. The Nigerian Senate has given President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a green light to deploy troops to the Republic of Benin following last weekend's attempted coup in the neighboring country. The approval came on Tuesday after lawmakers deliberated the request in a closed-door section. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced a unanimous vote calling the move critical for regional security. Akpabio warned that instability in any West African nation threatens the entire sub-region, saying an injury to one is an injury to all. The Senate consent letter will be sent to President Tinubu immediately, clearing the way for the deployment. The decision comes as ECOWAS declared a state of emergency across West Africa nations, citing a surge in political instability, coups, and attempted mutinies. ECOWAS Commission President Omar Touré made the announcement at a high-level security meeting in Abuja, saying the region faces unprecedented security and political threats and need urgent collective action to protect democracy. Ministers are now meeting to determine next step, with more details expected after further deliberation. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Abimbola Akim Owade, has congratulated Nigeria's First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu on her installation as Iyeye Asiwaju Udua. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye, said the First Lady received the prestigious title on Sunday as part of activities marking the Oni 10th anniversary. Now, in a message released on Monday, the Alaafin described Senator Tinubu as a woman of substance who defined by inner strength, integrity, discipline, and commitment to service. It said the title reflects leadership, compassion, and dedication to progress of the Yoruba people and the Nigerian nation. Oba Owade added that the First Lady has constantly demonstrated resilience, empathy, and purpose, noting that she continues to make meaningful contribution to society through her actions and advocacy. Now, the event in Ile-Ife also saw the First Lady acknowledge the presence of the Olu of Warri Ogiame Atuashe III CFR as dignitaries gathered to celebrate the Oni's decade-long reign.
We are conscious, vigilant, progressive.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the Sultan of Sokoto and Dame Patient Jonathan, representing former President Goodluck Jonathan, were among the dignitaries who attended the 10th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, the Oni of Ife. Away from that, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowori has appealed to employees across the state not to reject core members posted to the organization. The governor made the call on Tuesday at the closing ceremony of the NYC Badge C Stream 1 orientation course in Ise-Luku, representing for Special Project Fenyi Manager. He urged employees to create a supportive work environment so core members can contribute meaningfully to the development of both the state and the nation. He also reminded core members to accept their posting, especially to rural communities where their services are most needed. Oborowori encouraged the new core members to approach national service with commitment and patriotism, saying the orientation course has equipped them with skills and knowledge needed for the primary assignment. Now, he added that the SAED program has prepared them for self-reliance and also financial independence. He advised them to integrate fully into their host communities, noting Delta's reputation for hospitality. The governor commended the NYC management for sustaining skill acquisition programs that help tackle youth unemployment. NYC State Coordinator John Okwage thanked the governor for his continued support and also praised the NDDC for installing about 229 solar power street lights within the camp, improving security and lighting. He urged the host community to protect the facilities and encourage core members to uphold discipline respect local customs, and embark on impactful community development projects throughout their service year. Talking politics, Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara has formally defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The governor announced his decision on Tuesday during a stakeholders meeting at the Government House in Port Harcourt, joining several South-South governors who recently left the PDP. Fubara said supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu required openly aligning with him, not offering what he called backdoor support. He told the supporters the entire political structure will be moving with him to the APC. The defection comes a day after Fubara visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. Details of the meeting were not made public. Fubara's move follows months of political tension in Rivers State. Earlier in the year, President Tinubu declared the state of emergency in the state, suspending the governor, his deputy, and all members of the House of Assembly for 6 months, citing escalating political conflict. An interim administrator was appointed to manage the state during the period. When the emergency rule ended, Fubara returned to office saying the difficult period was necessary to restore order.
It's not just a personal visit, there is state interest consultation. I don't want to make any mistake this time around. I wish also not to step on anyone's mind or anyone is lead for us. So I was with Mr. President yesterday to brief him on the situation of things in our state, which I believe he has taken note and is going to act swiftly. But we have the full support, we have positive nod to live where we are because we didn't get any protection. To go to where the reason why we are still standing is because of that case. And the truth is, without Mr. President, there won't be any His Excellency. It would have been former. So
he revealed he deliberately avoided challenging the legality of the emergency declaration in order to maintain peace. He also confirmed that after President Tinubu intervened, he and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the State House of Assembly agreed to reconcile in the interest of Rivers people and the stability of the state. The Ondo State chapter of the new Nigerian People's Party says it's gearing up to take all state and National Assembly seats currently held by the All Progressives Congress in the 2027 elections. Ondo State is presently represented entirely by APC lawmakers, 3 senators, 9 House of Assembly, 9 House of Representatives, and 26 members of the House of Assembly. But the NNPP says the lawmakers have failed to deliver meaningful projects and will be voted out. The party new chairman, Peter Olagunkun, made the declaration during the inauguration of the newly elected state executive in Akure on Tuesday. Olagunkun said the NNPP is strengthening its structure ahead of the 2027 and positioning itself as only viable alternative in the state. He described the PDP as divided and the ADC as gathering of retired politicians. He insisted that the party will field strong candidates across all constituencies to replace what he called underperforming APC legislators. On national issues, Olagunkun criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's handling of insecurity, saying the president appeared overwhelmed and should follow the recommendation of NNPP's 2023 presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He added that the NNPP plans to build a new Nigeria if it wins power in 2027. The newly inaugurated Ondo NNPP executive includes Olagunkun as chairman, Oluwayemi Adekule as secretary, Ibrahim Shaibo as treasurer, and several vice chairmen across the 3 senatorial districts, among other officials. The federal government has begun moves to clear the more than 4 trillion naira owed to power generation companies, with the launch of a 590 billion naira first tranche bond under a new NBET bond program. Now, the bond is the opening phase of a wider 4 trillion naira package backed by the federal government. It includes a 300 billion naira in cash bond to be sold to investors and a 290 billion naira in non-cash bond that will be issued directly to the Gencos. Documents obtained show that the Series 1 bond will be issued between November and December of 2025, with the Cardinal Stone Partners acting as a lead issuing house. The bond carries a 7-year tenure, a fixed coupon rate, and will be gradually with interest paid twice a year. The insurance marks one of the most significant steps yet by the Tinubu administration to tackle what experts describe as one of the power sector's most crippling financial problems. The bond will be listed on both the Nigerian Exchange and the FMDQ Securities Exchange, making it available to pension funds, banks, insurers, asset managers, and high net worth investors. The issuer also has the option to observe over subscription of up to 1.23 trillion naira, which could allow more than non-cash bonds to be allocated to Gencos if needed. Now, Nigeria power sector has struggled for years as NEBT continues to owe Gencos billions due to poor remittance from electricity distribution companies. Generation companies warn that the mounting debt now escalated to about 4 trillion naira and projected to hit 6 trillion by the end of the year, has crippled operation, disrupted gas supply contracts, and reduced power plant output. The liquidity crisis has continued to repeatedly collapse and also unstable electricity supply nationwide. The federal government says the bond fully guaranteed and compliant with CBN and PENCON requirements will be repaid mainly through the national budget, with NBET's recoveries from discos serving as a secondary source. Still talking business, Boa Cement is awarded a 200,000 naira scholarship to 200 students across Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara State, doubling its annual support as part of effort to boost education in the region. At the presentation ceremony, Boa Cement Managing Director Yusuf Binji, represented by Ali Gume, said the increase from 100,000 naira to 200,000 was to cushion rising financial pressure on students. He urged the beneficiaries to use the funds strictly for school fees and essential academic needs, adding that the company will monitor their progress. The beneficiaries include 50 students each from Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara, as well as additional 50 from Wamako local government area, host community of Boa's operation. Now, the Executive Secretary of the Zamfara State Scholarship Board, Rashida Lima, praised Boa Cement for what she added or called a major investment in human capital development. They said the initiative aligns with the government effort to ensure no student is left behind. Some beneficiaries expressed gratitude. Bilikisu Mohammed from Kebbi State said the support will strengthen students' academic journey, while Umar Bello from Zamfara pledged that recipients will make good use of the opportunity. Boa Director of Administration and Corporate Affairs, Sada Suleiman, noted that the program complements government initiative in the educational sector and also encouraged students to consider the company for SIEAS and NYC placements. The district head of Akila Aliu Hassan also commended Boa Cement for supporting young people and appealed for more job opportunities for host communities. We need to go on a break now, but when we come back, more news across Nigeria as well as foreign and sport news. Join us again.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Nanja Celebrity Type Man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Ukrainian President Zelensky met with Pope Leo in Italy on Tuesday as he prepared to present the United States with a reverse proposal aimed at ending Russia's invasion. The meeting took place at the Pope residence in Castle Candolifo near Rome. Zelensky is also scheduled to meet with Italian President Melino and a strong supporter of Ukraine despite divisions within our coalition. Italy continues to supply weapons to Ukraine, but only for use on Ukrainian soil, and has ruled out sending troops as part of the proposed international monitoring force. A decision on extending Italy's military aid set to expire on December 31st was postponed last week. On Monday, Zelensky held talks in London with leaders of Britain, France, and Germany before moving to Brussels for discussion with EU and NATO. European Commission President von der Leyen said Zelensky's sovereignty and Ukraine's sovereignty must be protected as a long-term security guarantee. French President Emmanuel Macron said European partners are working on strong security assurance and reconstruction support for Kyiv, while seeking alignment with the United States position. Anyway, in Washington, President Trump's stance on Ukraine has floated. He recently imposed sanctions on Russian oil companies after earlier expressing frustration over stalled peace efforts. He has also accused Zelensky of dismissing the initial U.S. proposal, which Europe aligns view as one favored to Russia. Zelensky said the original 28-point U.S. plan has now been trimmed to 20 points following weekend negotiations. The Nigerian Air Force has denied reports circulating online that Burkina Faso grounded a Nigerian Air Force C-30 aircraft from entering its airspace without authorization. Several platforms claim the transport aircraft carrying 11 Nigerian military personnel was forced to land in Bobo del Luso on Monday, with reports citing Benua's forces and the Confederation of Sahel States accusing Nigeria of violating their airspace. The AES statement stated and shared widely alleged that the aircraft was compelled to land after an in-flight emergency that it landed over flight clearance, prompting the bloc to condemn what it called an infringement on its sovereignty. The group even announced that its air and anti-aircraft system were on maximum alert. But in a swift reaction, Air Commander Ehime Ajudame, spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, described the report as misleading. He clarified that the aircraft was not grounded by Burkina Faso. Instead, it diverted there after the crew detected a technical issue shortly after taking off from Lagos during a ferry mission to Portugal on December the 8th. He also said the precautionary landing was carried out in line with international aviation protocols, adding that the crew is safe and had been treated cordially by Burkina Faso authorities. He confirmed that arrangements were on the way for the aircraft to continue its mission. The Air Force reiterated its commitment to professionalism, street safety standards, and the protection of personnel while carrying out its constitutional duties. Away from that now to sport, there's growing controversy ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup as Iran and Egypt have formally objected to plans to brand their group stage fixture in the United States as a pride match. The match is scheduled to take place in Seattle on June the 26th during the city's annual Pride weekend. Local organizers have announced that the LGBTQ-themed event months before the tournament drew place Egypt and Iran in the same group. But the Football Federation of both countries said the branding conflicts with the cultural and religious values. Iran's Football Federation President Taj described the plan as irrational moves supporting a certain group, adding that both nations had filed objections. Iranian state television also reported that the country plans to appeal to FIFA. The Egyptian Football Association confirmed it is written to FIFA, rejecting in absolute terms any LGBTQ-related activities connected to the match. It said the game must remain focused on football, citing FIFA's own rules on political and social neutrality. Homosexuality is illegal in Iran and can carry severe punishment, while in Egypt it's often proscribed, or rather under laws on debauchery. The clash comes on as the 2026 World Cup hosted by United States, Canada, and Mexico approaches, as Iran continues to face complications with U.S. visas for some of its players, particularly those linked to military service in the IRGC, with Washington's dignitaries or designate a terrorist organization. Iran said it's preparing alternative players in case FIFA problems or visa problem persist. Still talking sport, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah returned to training on Tuesday as uncertainty deepens over his future at Anfield. The 33-year-old was dropped from Liverpool's Champions League squad after publicly criticizing manager Klopp for benching him in recent game. Salah said he felt thrown under the bus, sparking speculation of a January exit. His outburst has attracted strong interest from Saudi clubs, with source linked to the Saudi Public Investment Fund saying they are ready to make a move when the transfer window opens. Slot told reporters he has no clue whether Salah has played his last game for Liverpool. Salah, who has scored 4 league goals this season, is expected to join Egypt for the African Cup of Nations after this weekend match against Brighton. With that, sporting news comes at the end of the news, but we'll always remind you that if you have any newsworthy reports, do all to send to our different social media platforms. I'll be more than happy to take them. I still remain Michael Gobadia. Bye for now.